We're back! Good morning, YouTube! What's up, everybody? I hope you're safe and healthy and happy and doing okay. We're back in the saddle again here after 2 weeks off. The first week it was my birthday, so I didn't really feel like crashing a video. And the second week we went to Columbia, Missouri to see Ariana's sister graduate with a PhD from the University of Missouri. So also didn't want to crash a video, but we're here today doing our thing again with a full review. Today we are going to be talking about the Asics Gel Nimbus Lite 3 and my full review of the shoe. Now, it feels like I've talked about this shoe quite a bit on the channel, and that's because I did a first run impressions and a which shoe should you buy video that featured this white, well, kind of dirty now, shoe. Before we talk about this shoe today though, I do want to just have a couple of words about the Asics Nimbus 24. Now this is like the more souped up version of the Nimbus Lite, and this is the shoe that I compared the Nimbus Lite 3 to in the which shoe should you buy video. And I wanted to get this to 50 miles. In that video, if you have watched it, I'll put it here, maybe here. I'll put it somewhere for you guys to click on if you want to take a look at it. But I had said that I really, really liked this shoe, but I kept getting a hot spot. Unfortunately, that has not changed. So I will not be bringing this to 50 miles. It just does not feel comfortable for me after 3 miles. So unfortunate. But anyways, back to this shoe right here. We're going to talk about everything I liked, everything I disliked about this shoe. So let's watch the run footage and then get going with the full review, shall we? Today, I do want to let you know that this shoe was sent to me by Asics in Running Warehouse. However, neither company is going to see this before you. They can't tell me what to say, and all of my opinions are my own. Also, we're not really going to go over the specs in this video and all of those kind of technical details. If you want to see those technical details, you can do so in my first run impressions video that I will link in the corner of the screen. That will kind of tell you what the drop is, what the weight is, all that kind of stuff. Today, we're just going to talk about what worked for me and what did not work for me over the course of 50 miles. I actually quite enjoyed this upper. I felt like it was a lot roomier than the Nimbus 24, but not to the point where I felt like I needed to size down. It was just enough. I really felt like my foot could breathe, and it didn't feel so suffocating, kind of like the Nimbus 24 did. The Nimbus Lite 3 is kind of breathable. When it's cold and windy, I definitely felt some of that air passing through the forefoot of the shoe. But today, it was a little bit warmer. I just literally got back from a run in the Nimbus Lite 3. It was a little bit warmer today, and I had wished that I could feel a little bit more air passing through. So it's kind of in the middle, but that's really my only complaint with it. I love the stretchy tongue situation that they put on both the Nimbus Lite 3 and the Nimbus 24. It's gusseted. It gives you a really nice fit across the midfoot. I had no problems with heel slipping or anything like that. And we have plenty of cushioning in the back by the heel. And not to mention, these materials also held up pretty well. I don't have any fraying or holes or, any kind of negative issues with the upper in terms of durability. So that is a big thumbs up. The only real issue is that it gets dirty, obviously, because it's white. It's an eco-friendly flight foam. It's got rear gel cushioning and forefoot gel cushioning. You just can't see it, but it's there. And for me, it felt like, and I said this in, I think, all of my videos of this shoe, it feels like there's a little too much cushioning in the back by the heel and in the midfoot, and not enough in the forefoot. And you can even kind of see that, especially if you look at the medial side. You can see all of this is built up here. There's lots of that foam, and then it just gets thinner and thinner as the shoe gets closer to the front. It did become a little bit more of an issue as I continued to run, and on longer runs, that's when I really started to feel just like the thinness of this forefoot. I don't know why that is. I didn't feel it as much in the previous versions of the Nimbus Lite, but I felt it here for some reason. And it was kind of disappointing because I would love that same amount of cushioning that's in this heel to just be carried out through the forefoot. Now, perhaps they didn't do that for stability purposes. The higher the stack height, usually the less stable the shoe, but I don't know. That being said, though, it does still have a very nice ride. It is flexible in that forefoot too, so you don't feel like it's really stiff and rigid and just not very comfortable of a ride. I do feel like it's a comfortable ride, all things considered. This shoe kind of did its best for me on the kinds of runs that I'm doing right now, which is just kind of running for fun at whatever pace I feel like doing that day. This is more of like a moderate paced shoe to easy. I think that Asics markets this as like a max cushion shoe, but I would argue to me that it just feels like a daily trainer with a little bit of extra cushioning in the heel area. If you want something protective but not really built up in that forefoot with too much cushioning, then you might want to look at this because it is protective and comfortable, just not exactly my preference. Asics is using AHAR Plus rubber here. Obviously, as you can see, there's some flex grooves here, and there is some exposed foam on the medial side of the shoe. The rubber here has held up pretty well. I mean, there is a little bit of wear, but all things considered, it really does not look bad at all. And even the exposed foam really doesn't look too bad. So I'm impressed, I would say, with this rubber. In my which should you buy video, I did say that I can sometimes feel these grooves or these these pods of rubber up here in the forefoot. I still can attest to that. I think it's mostly because, oh hi. I think it's mostly because of the thin sensation I feel with the midsole, but not a deal breaker, just something that I don't really love. Otherwise, this outsole is great. It's held up really well, like the rest of the shoe has. The Asics Gel Nimbus Lite is $159.95 on runningwarehouse.com. As I've said in all of my videos about this shoe, I don't know why it is the same exact price as the regular Nimbus 24. Some of you have argued that it's because they're using eco-friendly materials here, which cost more, and that does make sense to up the price of the shoe. Still, I think it might be a little bit steep for the Nimbus Lite 3. I would say definitely at $140 it would be something to grab. $160, I'm not sure. I like the shoe, but $160 is a lot of money for a shoe that you just like. Still, if you're interested in picking up your own pair of this shoe, I will link it down in the description. You can click that link and pick up your own pair. Keep in mind, this is an affiliate link with Running Warehouse. However, it doesn't mean much for you. It just helps out my channel so I can keep making these videos and hopefully helping you to find a shoe that really truly does work for you. My conclusion is this: I think it's a decent shoe, but for the problem that I have with it, that forefoot cushioning, it really does knock it down a bit in my book. And for that reason, I'm giving it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I think if they could just improve that a little bit, it would make the shoe worlds better and just a little bit of a more balanced platform. But other than that, I do think it is a fun shoe that a lot of people are going to like because it's different from that Nimbus and gives you another alternative but a familiar feel. All right, so now let's throw up a screen with the pros and the cons. For pros, I have the upper feel. It is very comfortable. I have the midsole comfort, but from the midfoot to the heel of the shoe. The Nimbus Lite feels lightweight on foot, and the overall durability. For cons, I have forefoot cushioning. I have that I feel is expensive for the value, especially when the Nimbus 24 is the same price. I have the outsole feel that I can feel those pods under my foot at times. And then I just wish the upper was a little bit more breathable, even though it is comfortable. And that's all for me. I mean, this shoe is fun. It's a good shoe. I'm excited to see kind of what they do with the Nimbus Lite 4, if they fix any of these things that I don't really love. Will I keep wearing it? Maybe here and there for sure, but I have a lot of other shoes to get to. So we might retire this one for a little bit. Well, everyone, that concludes my full review of the Nimbus Lite 3. If you enjoyed this video, please like it down below and subscribe. And when you're done with all that, hit the notifications bell so you can find out every time I upload a new video. Please just give it a little bit more here, Asics. Just like a little bit, just a teeny bit. I have another video for you next week, but in the meantime, get out there, get on the grind, and don't forget to run like Heller. See you next time. I'm not sure what possessed me to wear pants today, but I will admit it was a bad decision, and I am very, very hot. No more pants for the rest of the season. Oof.